Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome back to our weekly lunch and learn session. A very warm welcome to all of you today. My name is Rosnita from Excel Academy. Today we have Miss Kayatri, and she will be sharing about 10 copywriting tips to drive more engagement on social media. So, if you have any question regarding this topic, do leave your message in the comment section, and Miss Kayatri will answer them right after her presentation. All right, so let's not wait anymore. Now I pass this floor to Miss Kayatri.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm clear. Can you see my slide? I hope you can see my slide, right? So good afternoon, everyone. Today, my topic is I'm going to share with all of you. It's very much of a sharing session of 10 copywriting tips for those of you who has social media presence for your business or your organization. So basically, you can use these tips to drive more engagement on your social media platforms. All right. So let's move. A little bit introduction about me. My name is Gayatri. I have been in this marketing and digital marketing precisely in this industry for more than 15 years now. And I am running a social media agency whereby we work with corporate clients. We do content marketing for them, and we also do paid advertising, and we integrate with a lot of AI tools are available now. So we help our clients to integrate suitable AI tools for their businesses as well. All right. So if you stay until the end of this session, I will be sharing with you a few AI tools that might be very, very useful for all of you who want to have better engagement on your social media. All right. Apart from that, I'm actively teaching and I train corporate clients as well. And so that's about me. And okay, so these are some of our clientele that we are managing. Some I've trained them, some are, we have retainer, right? So we work with them directly. We work hand in hand with them. In fact, we kind of like really know what they want, and we produce the kind of content, the kind of engagement that they need on their social media. All right, so straight into our topic today, copywriting for social media. So first of all, we need to know why we are doing copywriting, why copywriting is so important, or another term, why content is like really, really important for any social media platform, because that is like one of the way or the only way you can communicate with your target audience. All right, so and if you want to communicate with your target audience, you have to be very, very clear, like super duper crystal clear about not about what you want to tell them, but about what they want to listen from you. All right. So other than that, what can good copywriting, I'm talking about like a really good copywriting, can actually help you. So the first thing is it can help to have better reach, higher engagement, and drive more traffic to your social media platforms. Or let's say you have a website. So most of the time we have a website and we use all these social media platforms, the tools and all this to drive back the engagement or traffic back to the website, so that people can take a decision or take some action on the website. All right. So that is the first very important thing. So you want to increase the reach, the number of people seeing your content, the number of people seeing your content, the impression, and finally to drive them back to wherever you want them to go. The second thing is when you see a piece of article on social media, let's just take Instagram, for example, or TikTok, for example. So you will see there's some content has a lot of comments on it. So when we see content with a lot of comments or engagement or likes or whatever, shares and all that, so automatically you tend to think, oh, this must be a very good article, this must be a very good content. So that is why a lot of people are engaging with this content. So this is what we want to be able to achieve in our own social media platforms, in our own content that we are creating. All right. So the second very important objective, I would say, about good copywriting is to increase your engagement on your social media platform. So when I say engagement, likes, comments, shares, all these are engagement, all right? And then only having engagement, only having reach doesn't make any dollar sense. So we want to be able to see something out of this comment. Meaning to say, people who are commenting, they have to leave comments that will be able to, for us to identify them as our target audience. All right. So meaning to say, they could be our potential target, potential consumer, potential customer. So they are our leads. So the more people that you reach, the more people that are going to engage with your content, the chances of them being a potential customer is higher. So this is how you create leads. With good content comes good leads. All right. So leads alone, it's just a lead unless you convert them into sales. Right. So that is the fourth objective, sales to happen. So you want to convert those people who are interested in your product, who comes there to look see, to finally able to purchase from you. All right. So that will be our objective. So why I'm stressing with this four objective, whenever you want to create any content, have this objective in mind. What am I going to do with them? Is it to increase engagement? Okay, or is it to have more people to know about my product on the awareness stage? Or is it for me to invoke their interest so that they can ask more questions that leads into them to becoming a potential customer? Or finally, you want them to take an action. So your content will have to follow one of this objective. So have in mind what objective that you want to achieve, and then you create your content. All right. So continually, in content marketing, there are three steps. The first step is when you create a content. So creating content means you're putting together a caption, you're putting together words, images, visuals, or whatever, so that there is a communication going on. All right. And then the next stage is on publishing it on the right medium. So medium here is platforms like, we are talking about social media. So I'll stick to social media. So platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, if you are in Twitter, LinkedIn. So all these are medium where you can publish your content to get larger reach. And then the third part is on promotion. So like it or not, we have to come with terms to the fact that a lot of social media platforms are having, I would say, very less organic reach because they are already like saturated. So organic reach means when you don't pay anything, you still get a very good reach. Like what TikTok has now, you have very high organic reach. Instagram also relatively high organic reach. LinkedIn always been very high organic reach. But you won't be able to see the same in Facebook, especially in Malaysia, because some other countries we are still able to do it. You know, we are still able to see good reach using Facebook on organic site, right? So in Malaysia or some countries here in this region, we are not able to see that. So this is why the third step, promotion, is needed. So promotion means you are paying social media platforms so that you can run ads to promote your content. Rather than people not seeing it, you are making people to see it. So another very important point of promotion, ads, advertising on social media is you can actually target the very right market that you want to reach. Like if it's organic reach, probably it will just reach the masses, not the targeted. So with promotion, you can actually reach more targeted. But that's a topic for another day. What we are going to focus now is on the first part, the creation part. All right. So I'm going to give you like 10 very important thing, but sadly always overlooked by a lot of organization. Even sometimes I would say, since I do a lot of training classes and all that, even after the training, some of the students still don't see the need of following, which is like going back to the basis, right? So the first thing first is, when you want to communicate something, you need to know who you are going to communicate with. You see, you know everything about your product. So you're a master in talking about your product. But if you keep talking about your product without knowing who is actually listening, it is like, sorry to say, it's a very wasteful thing to do. All right. So first thing is you kind really need to understand or identify who you want to communicate with. So this is what we call understanding your customer persona, or you have to develop a customer persona. A customer persona is a set of demographic, geographical, psychographic information about your potential customer. All right. So you need to have some idea about who they are, what are their challenges, how can my product help them to overcome these challenges. All right. So based on that criteria, based on that, you will be able to create better content for them. All right. So this is what we want to able to achieve. And then the second, I mean, I hope you understand about developing a customer persona is really important. Any businesses, you should have at least like 3 to 5 different personas. And when you already created the persona, it's not like there forever to stay, because personas can change. You have to evaluate the persona. Like after 3 to 6 months it's a good time frame to really know whether this persona is working for you or not. Then it's time for you to evaluate or change the persona. All right. So there's no sticking with persona for years. All right. So because people change, their preference change, their liking change, their needs change. All right. So you need to know whether it's a very much of a utilitarian needs, the functional need of your product, or the hedonic needs, the emotional need of the product. So all these things are very important. And you, when dwelt more into the behavior of your consumer, you'll be able to identify this more. All right. And then continuing the second thing, after once you already know who is your target audience, now it's time for you to develop a very good style guide for your brand. So I'm not sure how many of you here are working in a big company, where most of this big company already have a style guide, a brand guide. How do you appear online? What kind of tone that you use when you talk online? What kind of mannerism? How it's your personality, right? When you're on online medium, how do you, your brand will take an avatar, and the avatar will have certain personality. So what kind of personality that you want to portray to your audience? So that is your style guide. And how do you convey this? It's based on your brand color, right? You know, the colors that you use in your content, your images, the font that you use. You know, you don't create different kind of fonts every time you create a content. Let's say in a month you're creating 20 content, right? So you cannot be having 20 different font, 20 different color, because the moment we see your social media page is like super colorful and like really kana riang ria kind of a, you know, effect. It shouldn't have that kind of effect. It has to have certain kind of uniformity. All right. It has to look certain standard, so that people will be able to uh, identify, people will be able to, your brand, the image of your brand will be able to stick in people's mind. And even at one point of a time, if you don't use your logo in your content, with the look and feel, they know, okay, this is coming from a company ABC, for example, Air Asia, right? So you don't really need to see the logo of Air Asia, but when you see the color combination, somehow you already know, because of the font, it's already in your mind, because of the logo, the color, the red and white color, it's already in your mind, so you'll be able to see that. All right. So this is what we want to achieve. So once you're ready, the first thing is, once you already created your persona, customer persona, the second thing, come up with a style guide, your brand guide. Okay. And then we go into copywriting technique and strategy. There's a lot of copywriting technique and strategies that I've been teaching in my classes, like a lot. But today I thought of introducing one particularly, it's actually a very old technique of copywriting, which we call the persuasive writing or persuasive marketing. Right, a little bit of what do you call that, history, right, about persuasive marketing. Is this is not actually a new study. It was introduced by a great philosopher called Aristotle. I'm sure a lot of you know him, uh, from the ancient Greek times, right? And then in his book, The Rhetoric, he actually mentioned about 3 persuasive models. The first one is ethos, second one is pathos, like I've put in my slide, and third one is logos. So this study or this introduction of persuasive marketing has been a basis of a lot of new studies that we are learning now. All right. And persuasive marketing is used in by a lot of big names in their marketing, right? Especially when you're writing copy. So that's why I'm trying to educate all of you on a new technique today. All right. So there are four modes actually in persuasive marketing. So there's ethos. So ethos means in ancient Greek, it's very much of a character of a person. So you want to be able to know about a character of the person. See, it's all going back to your consumer. All right. It's all going back to your customer persona, behaviorism of your consumer. All right. And then the second one is pathos. Pathos directly translates into suffering, but the dimension of it is emotion. So you want to evoke people's emotion. And then you have logos. Logos directly translate into words. All right. So all this, the model of persuasive marketing is actually being used in our current, what do you call that? Our current marketing. All right. So because this, I can talk about persuasive marketing for the next 2 hours, but since we have like very limited time, I'm just introducing this to you to create your interest. So all you can do is you can actually Google, search about it, read about this, because in every copywriting you will be including all these elements. Like you want to be emotional, you want to create that kind of emotion. You want to know, okay, my customer, they have like, probably you have a has fall solution, probably for them some hand shampoo or what, and you know your customer is having this kind of issues, hair fall, balding and stuff. So you are going to create that suffering, you know they're suffering from something, so you're going to use that suffering to create your marketing message, to create your caption. So that's what we are going to do, use this technique, persuasive marketing technique, to do. All right. So once you already have some idea, I'll give you one more a strategy on how to write. Okay. So this is something that I would really want a lot of you to try. Okay. So what you can also do is you can plan your copy. You see, when you want to write, I don't know how many of you actually have this habit. When you want to write something, have a proper template. Who are you targeting this to? The second thing, what you want to achieve from that, what kind of medium that you want to use, and what's the objective, what you want to achieve from this. I think I repeated that, right? So this is basically the base of it. So this is the a very basic technique in writing copy. Who is this message targeted? Okay, so what kind of first of all, you need to know what is your what you call that content pillar like. So based on your pillar, you will go into the content. Who do you want to achieve, and then which platform to publish. So this, you have to have this kind of Excel sheet or wherever you want to have, but it has to be documented. Okay, it's not that you get up one day and then you open your Instagram, start typing something and post, and that's a content. No, that's not a content. That is just random posting. All right. So if you're working in an organization, it has to be done in a very, very strategic, systematic way. Okay. Why this has to be done? Only then you will be able to go back, change, and evaluate what actually gave you a very good result, what didn't give you a very good result, how can you change it. So this is what we want to do. So anything that you want to write, please document it, because this is that will be like your not holy grail, that will be like a reference. You can keep coming back and check and do the necessary adjustment. All right. Then continuing, the fourth step is it changing? Okay, sorry, not the first step, still the third step. So this is the second strategy that I was telling. First was the persuasive marketing, where you have the four parts, four dimension of it. And then this is much simpler. So when the four persuasion marketing modes are very much on a set of studies that are very detailed, very deep. ADA, on the other side, it's much easier for anyone to use. All right. So what is ADA? ADA's A stands for attention. So when you are creating a content, you start with the attention grabbing statement. All right, like for example, I go back to these same the analog of having hair fall problem, right? So things like, are you 30 and already balding? Right? So this is like attention grabbing, and you are directly talking to the people who has problem with hair fall. All right. So are you 30 and already balding? All right. So that is your attention grabbing statement. And then you go into your interest. Interest meaning, say, you want to invoke more things, right? So have you been ridiculed in school, or for example, anything? So you can just create the interest, and then you give them a good desire. See, do you wish to see your hair, your head full of hair, healthy hair, and all long, shiny, healthy hair, right? And then finally, action. Get in touch with us. We have a solution for you. Something like that. I'm just giving a very, very simple example. All right. So, first, you need to grab their attention. Second thing, you have to create their interest. So, more of the interest creation can be an extension of this attention. All right. So, you can dig deep or make, you know, just press on their pain point more, and you can, and then you give them a desired solution, and finally how a call to take an action. So that is action. So this is actually, ADA method is not only used in writing copies, but we also use this for on the bigger perspective of creating marketing campaign, because our marketing campaigns will start with stage of awareness. Attention, this is awareness. So you want to get a lot more people aware about your product. And then the same thing, interest. All right. So now your content will be to invoke their interest. That means more information, more information about the product, how to use the service, blah blah blah. So all that, right? And then desire. So here you can include things like testimony, all right, reviews and feedbacks, and finally action. So you give them a discount, buy now, use scarcity here, like the sales end now. This gives them discounts or whatever. So right, so that is on the bigger perspective of marketing, but we can use the same in writing, copywriting as well. All right, so that is ADA's method of copywriting. Now, when we are writing for social media, the one thing that gets attention, the one thing that gets a lot of engagement is the creatives that you use. So what is creative? It's not this creative, but this is the images, the videos, or the GIF that you use, all the visual that you have in your social media. All right, so these are creatives. Captions can help, creatives helps even better. So any social media content has to have both. You have to have captions, you have to have creatives. All right. So one thing is, I'm very sure all of you, you might be, you use social media a lot. So you you just scroll through your social media pages like so fast, all right? Because your attention, your attention span is very short. So this is why we want to be able to grab people's attention with good images, good visuals, all right? So visuals are very, very important. So spend time in creating good visuals. If you already have like a team to design, that's great. But if you don't have a team to design, it's fine. It's fine also. Why? Because there are a lot of tools that can help to design. But let's say this is something that I would ask, please don't do it. Don't get your images from Google, because most of the Google images are copyrighted, so you don't want to make it a habit. All right, so just don't download from Google. All right, so we have a lot of free sites that offers good images, high resolution images, free, right? Did I mention that? So you can use it. Okay, and then once you have these images, you need to edit the images. You have to design it properly, you need to edit it properly, and even for that you have a lot of tools now. Like I've included some of the designing and editing tool here. you can check it out. Like Canva, a lot of people here use Canva. They already know about Canva. Equivalent to Canva, there are Snapper, Designer, there's another tool, Lightroom, Snapseed, in short, Toolmaker. So all these things are designing and also editing tool. So please go ahead and try. And one more thing, if there's something that I want to advise you to do, this which I've been advising for the last 2 years, I suppose, create more videos, create more video content. Okay, so create more video content, because video content is definitely the way moving forward. All right, like TikTok is all about video, right? So TikTok and YouTube is like second largest search engine now. So all because of the video, right? So go for it. So these are some of the free stock images that you can get, images for free, don't have to pay anything, just download. Okay, so like Pexel, Pixabay, Unsplash, Freepik, and all that. If you guys can screenshot, you can just screenshot. Okay, now this is something that I always encourage people to do. The only thing that can differentiate you from a lot of other products there is when you tell your story in a very much storytelling way. People love stories. People want to know more about your stories. So, and this is using the pathos. So pathos, remember I told you about the pathos, right? So pathos derives from the word pathetic, all right? But it's not pathetic in per se, it's all the emotion. You talk about empathy, you talk about sympathy, you talk about people suffering, pathetic, all right? So that is the pathetic. So storytelling can actually create, it's a very, I would say, a way for you to connect with your audience emotionally, because, and especially when you already know your audience and this is the story that they might have, so create in a very nice storytelling way, add it with a nice video, a visual, then you have a very, very winning content already. Storytelling is really it's a very I would say powerful tool. So but you see, not everyone can tell stories. It has to be sound genuine. So don't go to chat gpt and ask gpt to create a story for you, because okay la, you can do that, but obviously you need to modify a bit. Okay, so it's not really hard now with all these ai tools around. Anything can be done. Okay, so my tips here will be use storytelling to create the relationship, to invoke their emotion and to create a relationship with your audience. All right, and then again about emotion, you see why it's I like about this the persuasive marketing and consumer behaviorism is because it talks a lot about emotion. People take a lot of emotional decision. Okay, when you're happy you take certain kind of decision. When you're sad, there's a retail therapy, we call that, they go and purchase things when you're sad, you see. So emotion plays a lot of it plays a very important role in purchase behavior. All right, and what we want to use that is, you want to use the same emotion in your copywriting. You want to use the same emotion in your content that you're going to create. So this is where you need to use emotive language. All right, emotive language, use words that can just like pierce people into their heart. I'm being dramatic here, or just like inspire them, inspire them to take some kind of action. So this will be again another really, really powerful way to connect with people. All right, and like I say, emotion sells. So people buy when they're happy, people buy when they're sad. So just define the emotion that you want to create, you want to invoke in your customer, in your consumer, in your potential customer, and work around it. Okay, but again, this is another issue. Don't overdo things, right? Don't be like every day you talk about emotion. It has to have like a nice blend to it. It's not always about emotion. Sometimes people are rational also. People take rational decisions. Not all the people take emotional decision. There are instances where people take emotional decision, but still a lot of them take rational decision. So don't forget the rational part. Don't always be emotional, emotional, emotional. All right? And then continuing, sorry. Add value. Okay, so this is very important. How do you differentiate yourself again from other people? When your content has something that can add value to them, your content must be not only selling. Yeah, it's important to sell, but what kind of value you are giving. See, you are selling the same thing that your competitor is selling. So how are you going to differentiate yourself from the competitor? You probably, both of you can sell the same hair fall shampoo. He also sells the hair fall shampoo. Another person sells the hair fall shampoo. You have like 10 companies selling hair fall shampoo. So how are you different from them? What kind of value you are giving to your audience? So that is important. So you need to know that. You need to identify the values. So it can be anything. You see, sometimes people give discount as a value. That is also a value. See, or buy one free one. So that is also a reward value. All right. Or there's so many other things they can give. So this is giving. But other than giving monetary rewards, you can also give information that is educational, tips that can help them. Probably hair fall is not because only of unhealthy scalp. It could also be because of your eating habit, or it can also be because of your hormonal changes. So all this, and then you give them tips how you can protect yourself from all this, and at the same time maintain a healthy lifestyle, so that you have like you don't suffer from all this kind of issues like hair fall. So this is not directly related to your product, definitely not directly related to your product, but what you're doing here is you are giving them a value. I don't get this kind of value from other competitors, your competitors, but I'm getting a lot of tips. I'm getting a lot of information from you. And at the same time, you have to be entertaining. Remember that the engagement on social media, it's all about entertaining also. You see, certain content can just go viral for no reason. It just can be like, sorry, it can be just like the silliest video that gets viral, right? So it doesn't have a lot of value in it, but people just perceive that as entertaining. So entertainment also important element to be included in your content. So try to be funny. I'm not asking you to do funny videos or what, but incorporate fun. Because sometimes a certain corporation, they cannot act funny, but they can show the fun side of them. All right, so this is important. Why? Because when you start giving all this value, you give them like what I put here, the tips, entertaining stories, insights, like educational information and stuff like that. What happens is you are building trust with your potential customer, or with your already whoever your customer are. And the ready customer, people who already purchased from you, they are also equally important, or I would say more important than the potential customer, because they already know about your product. So it's easier to get a resale, get them to repurchase from you. All right, so this is why you need to continuously cultivate this, adding value. So when you are creating, I will show you on the content calendar and stuff like that later. So when you're creating your content calendar, include one part of it entertaining, or value add. Value add as one of the content pillars. Okay. And then the eighth tips that I'm going to give today is to use hashtags. Okay, using hashtags is important on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, obviously. Facebook, you can use, but it doesn't have that much of a reach that it has on the other platforms. Okay, so what is an hashtag? It helps your content to get discovered more. It to help you to reach more people, because there are certain people who follow some certain hashtag, certain people who follows content that's related to the hashtag. So the AI, the algorithm behind these social media platforms will try to match people's interests based on the hashtag as well. So it's important for you to use hashtags. Very, very important for you to use hashtag. But do not misuse the hashtag. Misusing the hashtag means like this happened during the COVID time. Your content can be anything not related to COVID, but just because you want to get more people to read, you hashtag COVID-19, COVID-19, hashtag stay at home, or whatever that content hashtag that was very popular those days. So what happens is if you misuse hashtags, this happened in Instagram. Instagram, the moment they get flagged about this misusing of hashtag, they will just bring down your content, not the page, but just the content. But still, it's not a very good thing to do. Okay. So another thing is using hashtag properly. Where do you find this hashtag? They just come from your mind, or what do you do? So there are keyword or hashtag generator, like keyword hashtagify is one of it. We use it for Instagram and TikTok as well as Twitter. So hashtagify, you also only need to put in the content, or the product that's relevant, and then it will generate a lot, more than 20, 30 different kind of hashtag, and it will show you what is the trend for the hashtag, whether it's uptrend or downtrend, how many people are using it, how many people actually this hashtag reached how many people and stuff like that. So you're able to see all this information, and based on that you can choose your hashtag. Again, just like how you have a template for your content, your captions, you need to have a template for your hashtag. You want to know which hashtag got you discovered. Okay, so there are tools to do this. We have a lot of reporting tools that can help you to do this as well, to know which hashtag actually booked for you. Okay, so use relevant hashtag with your content. So in fact, there's three type of hashtag. One is your branded hashtag. So let's say your company's name is, I'll take mine, right? TBS, Tech Byte Solution. So I can just hashtag TBS or hashtag Tech Byte Solutions. That is my branded. So there's only you carry the hashtag. And then you have content related hashtag. So if my content is, let's say I'm giving tips about social media marketing. So hashtag content marketing, or 10 tips of social media, hashtag blah, 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 and all that. So it's related to the content. And then third one is a trending hashtag, like trending hashtag, but related to your content that you are creating. Like I can say social media, digital marketing is a trending hashtag. All right. So you use this type of hashtag. In Instagram, those days we started with 30 hashtag, then reduced to 15, now reduced to 5. So maximum 5 is just recommended by Instagram. It's recommended by Instagram, but of course, if you want to use more, you can still use. That's no harm in it. Nobody is going to flag your content or what. All right, but certain platform has the number of limitation on the hashtag because they just want to reduce the size of the captions that you write, or else people just go ahead and put like hundreds of hashtags there. Okay, and then the very very easy one, I would say, when you have doubt, just keep it really, really short and sweet. Again, we go back to the behavior of content users on social media. They have very short attention span. They just scroll up. Okay, so if your content can be like really long, so it might just skip. People might just skip. They don't want to read the whole thing, right? So keep it clean. Like the important message should be at the top. That's your attention grabbing. That's the important message must be at the top. So only when they see that, they'll be able to continue reading it. So one has to be like a thumb stopping moment, and then engagement happens when they start reading. All right, so if you don't have to write too long, if you're in doubt, just keep it as simple as possible, as easy as possible. You just make sure you have delivered your message to them. This is what I want them to know about my content today, and I have delivered it. All right, so just keep it simple. Don't have to be too long also. All right. And finally, this is very, very important. You have to test and measure, or here I put like experiment and analyze. So why I say that you have to experiment, there's no method that will work fine all the time. All right. So sometimes that method works for you, sometimes it doesn't work for you, or sometimes it works well for another industry, but not so much for your industry. All right. So it's always about experimenting. So I wish it can be simpler. Like I can tell that you do A will happen, but social media is not like that because we're dealing with real people. Real people means real emotion, real needs that we need to take care of. So the needs changes, the emotion changes, so have your tactics as well. So do not stick to one and hope that will work, and obviously you say it's not working, so and keep on doing the same thing is insanity, right? So always experiment new things, and then when you experiment, you need to know what is working and what is not working. So here, this is where you analyze. So analyze your result. So like I mentioned in the beginning, have a template, have it can be a simple Google, Excel, Google sheet, so that you have a lot of people to access to that. So anyone in your team can see the results. So a Google sheet is fine, and it can be based on month, or it's better if it's based on month, so you'll be able to check month to month progress, right? And you have like all the captions, all the hashtags, and what worked and what didn't work. All right, so the results you can put it here. So do it. I'm very sure it will. You'll be able. I mean, start somewhere. If you're not doing this, start somewhere. Okay. Excuse me. So now I'm going to just give you some additional tips before we open to Q&A. So some additional tips here, and of course some tools. There's a lot of AI nowadays, guys, so make use of it. All right. So additional tips here would be the first one: develop a content pillar. So this is what I mentioned earlier, but probably I didn't. If you don't know, then I'll explain a little bit, right? So what is a content pillar? This is your content, but you're putting it in team base. So you can have branded content, like in a week you want to create 5 contents, for example. All right. So in a month you create 20 contents. So out of these 5 content, one will be branded content. We talk about your brand to create the brand awareness. People know, okay, about my brand, about my product. So that's branded content. The second thing can be okay, okay, let me give the simpler one: USB benefit testimonies, USB or benefit first. All right. The second thing can be you want to talk specifically about certain product. What is the unique selling point? What kind of benefit people will get from this product. So that is your can be your second content. The third content can be talk about testimonies, feedback. People are giving you a lot of feedback, and then you give them the fourth one can be like what I mentioned, adding value added content, any information, educational tips and stuff like that. And finally can be all sales. Sales is needed, right? So you can talk about sales, buy today and get 20% discount and stuff like that. So you have 5 different content, and then you have to just repeat this for the entire month. Different content, not the same content, different content under the same theme. So this is what we call the brand, the content pillar, or the pillar for your content, right? So and then once you have that, please put it like in what you call that, a nice calendar editorial system. I'm sure by now a lot of the companies already putting this in place. This was something like really new those days, but now this is like a lot of people are already start doing. But if you're not doing it, please start. Okay, it saves time, very much of objective oriented, meaning to say, okay, I want this content to do certain things. Have I achieved that? If I achieve, then it's great. If I don't achieve, then what can I do better? All right. So through this, you will get all the data, and you can use the data to analyze things, right? It's a very, very simple, like a no-brainer kind of editorial calendar. So you talk about what you want to post on every day. Again, I don't suggest for you posting every day. You don't have to. You can save your resources there. In a week, 3 to 5 times is just nice. Okay. But on TikTok, on the other hand, like on or other social media platform, 3 to 5 is fine. But TikTok, since the engagement is high, so if you can post like even 2 content a day, it is also fine. Nobody is going to penalize you. All right. And some of these AI tools that I say that can help you. I'm not talking about Chat GPT. I'm sure a lot of you know about Chat GPT by now. If you don't know, Chat GPT is actually a tool that can help solve anything. You can just ask it to write anything. You can ask it questions, and it's just, if you are not doing it, just go to chatgpt.ai, I suppose, and then just ask any question. It can even create codes, source code for uh, in engineering and stuff like that. It's like really high level of machine learning. So just go and check it out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to specifically for our topic today. All right. So Jasper.ai is an AI tool that can actually create really good content for your social media posts and ads. And also, if you have a website, you can also create this. Okay. But what I would suggest is, once you already created Jasper, let's say for example, you put in certain things for Jasper to create, and the moment you have it, don't copy and paste somewhere. It has to have your personal touch. Try to change a little bit here and there. Okay. And then you have Synthesia. Synthesia is really good. Why? Because you can create videos from plain text. It helps. You just have to put in the text and it actually helps you to create the video. Of course, there's other features that you have to put in. You need to tell whether it's a educational or fun or how long you want the video to be and stuff like that, and then it will help you to create a video. There's another one, getmunch, getmunch.com. So getmunch actually helps you to let's say you have videos on YouTube, right? And it's like probably like 15 minutes video, and using getmunch you can actually shorten it into 15-second video and you can post it on your TikTok. All right, so you have all these tools to help you. And then another one is neural text. So neural text helps you to identify, it's a content research tool. It helps you to identify keywords. Like hashtag is also another keyword, right? So it can actually help you to identify keyword, the research topic that you want to talk about. And for even for blogs, it can actually write for your blogs. All right. And then finally, you have rewrite. So rewrite is a tool that can write any content. You just have to, let's say for example, all right, I'm teaching you how to cheat a bit here. So Jasper will create content. So when you put the same content in speedread.com, what happens here is SpeedRead will change the content and give you unique content every time that you do. All right, it can be from the same content, but it's going to be unique. Okay, so these are some of the tools that can really help you in your social media. And just by using these steps, right, guys, you'll be able to see very good engagement on your social media. The tips here is, apart from all that, the tips here is consistency is very important. If you're sticking to 5 content a week, stick to 5 content a week. Don't let your social media pages unattended for like more than a week or like that. It's really bad. So consistency is important, and continuation of the content is important. And then at the same time, you need to experiment a lot of things and analyze and adjust. All right. So that is all from me now. So in conclusion, this is the strategy. All right, just you curate. All right, so this sorry, so you curate your content, you manage your content, distribute, analyze, and strategize, and the cycle continues. All right. All right, so sorry about my cough. So thanks everyone. That's all from me today during our lunch and learn session. So yeah, thank you. If I have any question, you can just ask me. That's all from me today during our lunch and learn.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Gayatri. I believe there are all the good tips to drive more engagement on social media. All right, let's give 2 to 3 minutes for our Q&A session. Let's see if we have any question. But I believe, yeah, we do have one question.
Uh, Very good question. Very good question. So actually, right, Tamizi, you can post one more than one post a day in the morning or in the evening. That is still fine. All right. But what I said just now, five content, 3 to 5 content is just a guide. But let's say if you want to create more content, it is fine. It is fine. You can still do it. But I want to see, it's not about just posting content on social media. You also want to see the effectiveness of your content. So when you post two content, so you need to see what is the reach for each content. Do you see the first content has better reach compared to the next content? Or you see the second content, because the time that you post is in the evening, probably it has better reach. So this is also a way for you to experiment, and for you to adjust based on what is actually working. But if you ask, is it okay? Yeah, it is okay to post multiple posts on Facebook and IG. It's entirely fine, not an issue at all. Also, what I would like to add here is, you make use of stories. Stories, you can go up to like more than 10 contents also, it is fine in a day, because it's just like short-lived 24-hour story. So there you can, that actually has much more engagement compared to even post, especially post in pages and groups. Groups also have better reach. Pages, very less reach, right? I'm talking about Facebook. But make use of stories a lot. Okay, I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, let's wait and see if we have any new question. No question, right? Got one more.
There's one more.
Yeah.
Another one, should we keep continue doing the same content in the hope it will some same results? Okay, so my suggestion is, don't use the same content too often. You see, okay, the gist of the content is something. You can always repurpose the content. Okay, so don't use the same one. Why? We also have this thing called creative fatigue. People get bored. People get immune to the same content if it is shown to them way too many times. So we don't want to happen. Don't want that to happen. All right. So if you kind of like have like a really good content, what I suggest you is you repurpose the content. Like for example, you have a content about, like, let's just take 10 tips on copywriting. All right. So 10 tips on copywriting, I can put it in a slideshow, like 10 you scroll. So that is one type of content. Another one is I can also create a video and show like these are the 10 steps. Or I can write an article, that's the 10 steps. Okay, so these are the 3 different type of way of you to repurpose your content. It's the same thing, but you're repurposing it. Okay.
Okay, I guess that's all the question we have for today. Thank you everyone for joining our lunch and learn session today. So for those of you who are interested to learn more about any of our public courses, as shown on the screen right now, these are all our upcoming public courses. Okay, so follow our social media platform for more details or contact us for registration. And if you missed today's session, you can watch it on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. With that, once again, thank you everyone, and see you again next week, same time with a different topic. All right, goodbye.